Okay, so I spent some time living the digital nomad life throughout Europe. And let me tell you that nobody talks about when they're selling the laptop lifestyle. Let me be totally honest with you. Y'all, I bombed the whole situation thinking I was going to be a digital nomad. I thought I was going to just go across the world and do all these amazing, wonderful things. And that just did not happen. I was so distracted. I did not want to work. And so you see people, and I've done it before, working from the beach and doing all those fun things and all that. Who wants to do that? Nobody wants to do that. You want to build a life full of systems to where you don't have to work because you want to enjoy. What I discovered will either save your creator journey or it will completely destroy it. And I'm about to show you the path that you're on right now. So if you've ever dreamed of making content from a cozy villa in Italy, taking in the sun in Santorini, or working beachside in Barcelona, all while money hits your bank account, I get it because I did too. But here's what nobody's telling you about creator freedom. It's not about the views. It's not about becoming an influencer. It's not about the travel. It's about ownership. Ownership over your time, over your health, over your income, and ultimately over your energy. It took walking through the small town of Santorini, watching actual people truly live their lives, for me to realize I was building a prison and not freedom. I have studied the best in the industries, like Dan Martell, who was actually a prisoner who went from zero to selling his companies for millions of dollars, or Layla Hormozi, who was able to build her empire without burnout. Vanessa Lau, who built a 7-figure business online and walked away because she knew something that most of us don't. What I learned over those weeks will either make you the creator that you've always wanted to be, or it will show you that you are headed for Burnout City. So Greece was absolutely beautiful, but it wasn't the beauty of Greece that actually hit me. It was the fishermen. It was the small time jewelry sellers, which there's a guy in Athens, Greece. If you know, I'm looking for the matching set to this bracelet. It's absolutely beautiful. I feel like taking a whole trip back to Athens just to find him so I can find the rest of this bracelet. I'd love to have the earrings. Anyway, those individuals had more freedom than most creators, millions of followers. You see, we think that having freedom is the ability to work from anywhere. Well, Dan Martell reminded me of something that totally changed my perspective. And this is going to sound backwards because it's not what you do, it's what you don't do. Success is not about adding a bunch of things. It's about taking things away. And that's when it hit me. We think freedom means traveling, having no boss, building a flexible income. But what we really want is peace, structure, and focus, and actual room to breathe. I was always reacting to notifications. I was multitasking nearly every task, even though I knew better. I was saying yes to things that I should have been saying no to because of fear of missing out. I would easily start out strong, but I would burn out because I was creating tasks that weren't fully repeatable. But here's what flipped the switch for me. You don't rise to the level of your goals, but you fall to the level of systems that you put in place. Ooh. I realized that I was doing something that so many of us do. Goals are emotional, but systems are execution driven. And guess what? I had plenty of goals, but no true solid systems. I didn't know how to build them. My goal was to live the digital nomad life and to create content while I was traveling. But let me tell you the truth. I had little to no drive to create content when I was around so much beauty. And even though I had plenty of ideas, I would open up my laptop, turn on the camera, and lose focus. As a matter of fact, I even went live a few days because that was the best way that I can actually show you some of the things that I was seeing. So here's what so many of us do. I was getting stuck on too many ideas, and the tracking was literally zero. I really didn't even know what worked compared to the system that I'm building now. So here's my trigger. Instead of just randomly opening up my laptop, I'm using Sunday nights as a reminder. Then I actually have a process. Then my tracking would be a weekly review of what I actually performed, what it felt like, and what drained me. Now, this next part is gonna hurt, but it actually might save your entire creator journey. Vanessa Lau had everything we think that we want: the 7 figures, the massive audience, the income, the works. But she walked away from it, not because she failed, but because she succeeded in the wrong thing. She was in what she calls the middle of her founder error, 1 foot in her own identity and 1 foot in trying to build something new. Sitting at that Turkish restaurant, I realized that I was headed to make the same mistake. I was adding complexity instead of subtracting it. So I made a list and I started realizing some of the things I need to cut off, some of the negativity that I need to cut off. The notifications I'd already cut off. So I thought I was good there. But sometimes you realize that relationships, things that you see, things that you hear are just dragging you down. I'd already started cutting out random collaborations that didn't align, but for some reason, I started slipping back. And trying to be everywhere, chasing everything shiny, is now replaced with focused energy that compounds. Here's what actual freedom looks like and why most creators will never find it. If you want true creator freedom, this is the foundation I'm building right now. Simplify first and eliminate what drains you, even if it looks productive. Turn off all the notifications that you don't have to have. Remove all the negative individuals and things that's not serving you. And say no to what pulls you away from your true mission. Number 2, build systems. Now here's your trigger. Have a scheduled start. Don't just pick any day of the week. And I thought I was doing this right, but I was not, okay? So I had my motivational Mondays and I was doing this and I was going to create content. No, be specific and have a scheduled start. When will you start this task? When will you end it? What will the task be? What's your process? Make sure it's a completely repeatable workflow. And tracking, I'm making sure that I'm having a weekly review to find out what's working and what's draining. I'm making sure that I'm thinking long-term over quick wins. If you want to build the life that you truly want, it's going to take time. And if you take shortcuts, it's going to burn you out every time. If you were like me, stop chasing views. I'm not going to be chasing views or likes, although you can like and subscribe right now. Shameless plug. Anyway, I'm not going to be chasing views. I'm going to ask, what will serve my audience in 5 years? Instead of just focusing on money now, start designing your legacy. Make decisions that your future self will thank you for. Now, watching those merchants and fishermen in Greece happily doing the same thing for the last 30 years made all of this click for me. Let's talk about the digital nomad life that everyone's selling you. Here's what I learned about becoming a digital nomad traveling throughout Europe. Having structure equals freedom to enjoy it. Batch creation equals less stress. Long-term vision equals more peace. Having systems in place means you can create anywhere. Simplifying your setup to just your essentials. I never used the tripod. And long-term thinking helped me enjoy the experience versus stressing over the content. Here's what was harder than what was expected. Wi-Fi isn't always available. So you want to make sure that you have backup systems to save you. Time zones can mess up your engagement. So you want to make sure you're using a VPN. I use NordVPN. The honest truth is the temptation to just be a tourist instead of being a content creator is always going to be lurking over your head. So here's the hidden truth. Location freedom isn't the same as time freedom. I was still working, but just with a better view. But if I had proper systems in place, I would have been working smarter, not harder. And I would have been able to actually enjoy the view. Here's what nobody tells you about freedom. Here's what nobody's telling you. The freedom isn't about the location. It's about building systems so solid that you can work from anywhere and enjoy the view. Or choose not to work at all. I could have made this video from my couch and told you some lies like everybody else does. But I needed to taste the freedom first. I needed to try out the digital nomad life for myself and see if it was living up to the hype. And what I found out changes everything. It's about thinking so long-term that short-term roadblocks don't derail you. I'm choosing not to hustle for freedom anymore. I'm building it slow, smart, and system first. If you're ready to stop winging it like I was and start building something sustainable, I'm inviting you to join me inside my free weekly newsletter. It's where I'm sharing the real systems that I'm building, creator workflows, AI prompts, AI automations, and long-term strategies that will actually compound. Because it isn't about doing more. It's about doing what matters better. So tap the link in the description and I will see you on the inside. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's grow.